Hi everyone, Robbie here for Silence in the City. In this video, I will continue on from my previous video about how to think like an angel. So, this thing about thinking like angels, I also find it helpful to deal with my self doubts. So, angels, I focus on the fact that angels can't waste time. It's technically impossible for an angel to waste time because an angel does not move in time. So, being pure spirit, having no physical form whatsoever or any moving parts, an angel does not experience time or the flow of time. You might imagine, or you could imagine perhaps, that everything an angel does is instantaneous because it doesn't flow through time. So, two things. Okay, because of that, two things about angelic acts or thinking. So, one, each angelic act or thought is full of purpose and intent. So angels can't second guess themselves, they can't have doubts about themselves, they don't waver, they don't vacillate, they don't wander aimlessly or gossip. They don't waste time. It's super efficient, hyper efficient. They think of something, they do something. It's full of purpose and intent. No backing out, none of that. So they go all in. And then number two, angels are either, with each angelic act or thought, an angel is either fully aligned with God, meaning they are loyal to God, they are faithful to God, they serve God's plans, or the angel is self-centered. So we have this Christian tradition where a bunch of angels, supposedly led by Lucifer, the star of heaven, they rebelled against God. So when we rebel against God, it's not so much that we side with the devil. There's no such thing actually as siding with the devil. It's more of we turn in on ourselves and become self-centered. So it's either we serve God or we serve ourselves. And so an angel is either or, it's black and white. Either the angel is fully aligned with God or fully self-centered. Now, we move in degrees. So the angel is black and white, right? Full purpose and intent, and either with God or with themselves. So we move like in degrees. So our purpose and intent, so we set out to do things, we think of things with purpose and intent, but because we move in time and space and we don't have perfect knowledge, we don't know everything that there is to know, then there is room, there is time for our purpose and intent to or for distractions to come in. So there is room for distractions to come in. There is there is space and time for us to change our minds, to be distracted, to second guess ourselves, to doubt ourselves. So, or to change course totally. So our purpose and intent can waver, can change. So it's not 100% all in. And so can our faithfulness to God. So maybe some days, actually every day we fail as sinners. So we bounce back and forth. Faithfulness to God, and we become self-centered, repent, and then become faithful to God and come back. So we move in degrees. So I'm trying to develop this sort of angelic flow. So so I set out, I have plans for myself, projects, whatever. So I set out with purpose and intent. And I try to be faithful to God. I fail every single day, but I do my best. Now, whenever self-doubt comes in, what I try to do is to grab that self-doubt and put it into my purpose. So what I'm avoiding here is just letting the self-doubt sit there and just let it simmer or fester, if you will, or start infecting me. So I grab the self-doubt and put it into my purpose. So I purposely see what I can learn from the self-doubt. I don't ignore the self-doubt, because if thoughts of self-doubt start creeping in, you need to listen to them in case there are any legitimate red flags in there that you need to pay attention to. But so I don't ignore them. I pull them into my purpose, and I try to learn as much as I can from them. with the express intent of tossing them aside once I'm done. So I don't want to keep the self-doubt lingering around. Figure out what I can benefit from it, what I can get from it, and then toss it out. And so I keep in mind that as long as I am trying my best to align myself with God, that means I am aligning myself with a purpose greater than myself, as cheesy as it sounds. Okay, so, and that's a crux of the matter here. The self-doubt has to do with my perception of the world and not the greater purpose. Because the self-doubt's about me, but the purpose is greater than me. Right? Look at it this way. Whenever God makes something, okay, let's make it simple. So whenever God makes an angel or a human being, so in the Christian tradition, angels and human beings are the creatures with sentience, with consciousness. So whenever God makes an angel or a human being, that creature has purpose. Because God doesn't waste time either. God is outside of time and space. So whatever God makes is also full of purpose and intent. So my creation is imbued with purpose and intent. It's full of purpose and intent because God cannot waste time making something that's not going anywhere. So now my creation having purpose and intent, just because I don't understand my purpose and intent or the purpose and intent God has for me, just because I don't understand that doesn't mean it's not there. And chances are that purpose and intent is greater than me, than my comprehension. And we're talking the long game here. For God, who is beyond time, 1,000 years is one day. And one day can be 1,000 years. So my purpose and intent can unfold over a lifetime. And I might not even fully grasp it until I exit this life. So being aware of that, whenever self-doubt comes in, I try to pair it with that concept that the self-doubt is relevant only for my perception of reality. But my perception of reality is restricted to my understanding of reality, which is vastly inferior to the greater purpose that has been set for me. So the self-doubt affects only me or my perception, but not the greater purpose. And so that, in a sense, helps me to deal with the self-doubt, to let it go, and to see that, or to make it, to quickly see that it will quickly lose its relevance, in a sense. Okay, so that's how I deal with my self-doubt. I don't aim to erase them, to ignore them. It's healthy to have an active mind, I think, in that sense. I fear the day, or I fear that more than losing physical strength or whatever, or physical activity is the mental activity. So having a healthy mind is critical, especially as we age. So always being active, but the more active a mind is, the more I think we have to trim it. It's like a garden. The more active the garden is, the more weeds there will be. So we need to be more active in its maintenance. Okay, so I hope that helps. I don't think self-doubt will ever be removed, but we can develop our skill in managing it, always keeping it in light of a greater purpose that has been set for us. I almost forgot, yeah. When it comes to the greater purpose, also, another key factor is that it's my part of my faith that God is a loving God, God will never set a purpose for me that is beyond my reach. So even if on a day-to-day basis, I think I'm failing, and that can harbor self-doubt, right? If I think I'm failing. If I think I'm failing to fulfill a purpose, I always try to remind myself that since I have faith that God is a loving God, this God will not grant me a purpose that is beyond my reach. I may not understand how I'm going to fulfill this. It doesn't mean I can't. Okay, so hope that helps. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time.